Okay, it shows that I'm live. You might not be able to see me, but I am going to talk you through this episode, and I'm going to start sharing a screen, which is our Dollars and Dirt website. So I am going to share my screen during this video. I am here and I'm talking to you live. Just want to make sure it's still working. Okay, so this episode of Selling the Farm, episode 4, is called What is Your Farm Worth? And I'm going to walk you through a couple of resources that you have of determining and figuring out how much value your land is, and some of the different websites that I use to help calculate land values for clients that ask me. So I want to first start with this website called dollarsanddirt.com. Jason Smith, my broker and also auctioneer for Dream Dirt and founder, created this website, and it's a really handy tool for anyone. It's free to anyone that's looking to kind of discover the prices of land in Iowa. It's broken down to each county in Iowa, so you can click into any county and it'll pull up information about that county. So for today, I'm just going to reference to Dallas County because that's where I grew up. So if you click into Dallas County, it'll show you some information we have about it, the county average CSR2, how many acres are there, and some prices as well. So this is just a really good tool and website that anyone can use. It's just dollarsanddirt.com. But where I'd like to get started is kind of just do an overview of what the land trends are doing currently, and especially for Iowa farmland prices. We really study and look at the 80% or higher tillable land. So I'm going to click into these graphs so you can see them a little better. But this first one's going to be the average dollar sold per acre in the last 12 months. So going all the way back to August 2019, man, that seems a really long time ago. And currently till August 2020, we will be adding September here shortly once the month ends. But you can see that it has kind of stayed in the 7,000, 8,000 range, except here in May. The one that's I think is interesting is the average dollars per CSR2 in the last 12 months. So how we calculate land values is really by its soil productivity rating. In Iowa, we use CSR2 point for a calculation. So this is saying that it was an 80% or higher tillable farms that we're comparing here in this graph. And so they'll typically have a pretty high CSR2, probably 80 or above, 80 to 100. So that's just calculating how this is working, is that it's taking the dollars per acre that a farm sold for. So if you take 8,000 divided by $80, it'd be $100 per CSR2 point. So looks like it's starting to go back up here, the higher dollars per CSR2. So it's in August, it was $106.87 per CSR2 rating. So if you know the CSR2 of your farm, you could use this calculation to help you calculate how much your land is worth. And then also we study the volume of farmland that has been sold in the last 12 months. And that's in this graph here, if you'd like to view it as well. I was just making sure it was working, this screen sharing. So I think I can jump back and see comments as well. So if you have any questions, feel free to comment as well. But going back to this graph, this is Iowa farmland sales volume by number of acres at an auction. So it really, if you looked back last fall, it really picked up here in October, November, and then kind of dropped back down, picked up. And then, of course, when the crops are in the field, we still sell land. It's just not as many acres, probably. So it's starting to pick up now. We've got a lot of auctions in the works, and they're all on our Dream Dirt website as well. But it's going to start picking back up and hopefully peak here in a few months and round out 2020. So a lot of farmland is sold during the fall after harvest. So just stay tuned for the prices that come out for this fall of 2020 as well. So those were just kind of the land value trends that are happening in Iowa with 80% or higher tillable farmland. Another really good resource on this page is actually the land value calculator, and Jason has done so much work to build this land value calculator. And if you don't feel comfortable doing it, you can definitely contact me or someone on the team and we can help you calculate your farm. But if you'd like to just play around with it, you can use our land value calculator. What you do is, I put in Dallas County, for example, but you can choose any county you'd like. You can fill in the number of tillable acres, the acres in CRP, timber, pasture, what your CSR2 rating, and then it'll give you a rough estimated calculated value from the data that we have built into this website. So if you're looking for a rough idea of what your land is worth, this is really a good tool and it's free to you. And of course, if you'd like us to go more in depth and give you some comparable sales, we will compile a report for you too. So I guess that's kind of what leads into, if you request us to do a report for you, I'm going to show you what that report looks like, and we are actually going to update it. But this is what it looks like currently. It's our farm market analysis package. So it just talks about who requested it and who we completed it for and who did it. But this is not a certified appraisal. I do want to say and mention that this is not certified. If you need a certified appraisal, please reach out to someone that is, and we can connect you with someone. But this is just a market appraisal that we give our clients that are looking to sell for free. This helps them give an idea of what their farm is worth if they really don't know, if they didn't grow up on the farm, if they inherited the farm, just have no idea how much it is worth. This gives them a really, really good idea of what we think an estimated value, the minimum expected value that your farm would bring. Because we always say auctions are the best way to sell your farm. It's the most powerful way, and it's going to reach the highest value, market value for your farm. But this is just to help to get a baseline, a minimum expected value that we can really go ahead and say we think this is really what your farm will bring. So you just fill in some of this information. I do all of this. I work on a few throughout the week for clients. And then we break it down. We have a website that we use called Surety Maps. A lot of other auctioneer and brokerages use it. But we break down your farm per acre, whether it's cropland, tillable is cropland, pasture, timber, all that jazz, especially with some improvements. If you have bins or buildings, we can do some rough calculations on that as well. Then we include your soil productivity, which I mentioned was the CSR2, and kind of if it's 80% tillable, higher, if it's not. And then just a quick narrative about your farm, maybe what you're looking to do with your farm or where it's located, just things like that go into this narrative box. So I'm going to scroll down to where is fun, and I love this part. I did a rural property appraisal class in Iowa State. I mentioned it in my first episode that I did, and you can watch all the recordings of my videos just on my Facebook page. The first, second, and third episode are all there. But in the first episode, I talked about how I kind of got started with Dream Dirt, and that I actually took a real property appraisal class at Iowa State and did a big project on calculating what my family farm was worth throughout the semester. And so this is where I really like tying that class into here as well, because in order to calculate what your farm is worth, I look up comparable sales that are similar to the type of land you have, if it's tillable or hunting or timber, how many acres. I really find some sales that were about the same amount of acres, the same county, or at least surrounding counties. And I typically include 3. If I find more or another one, I'll add it on. But so I'll report to you the county it was in, the date that the comparable sales sold for, the acres, if it had buildings, and then if you see here the sale price, and then also the dollars per SP, soil productivity rating. So that's the dollars per CSR2 rating that I'm talking about, that a lot of people pay attention to. And really, that's kind of how farmers kind of price land as well, and maybe some investors too. But it's a really good tool to use to help calculate really good tillable land. We use that dollars per CSR2, and that's taking the dollars per acre. So say 8,000 divided by your CSR2. That's how you'd find that calculation. It can range anywhere from $40, $100, $120 per CSR2 is kind of what you would see in this box. I'd say anything above $100 per CSR2 is really, really good. So, let's see. Yeah, and so all these calculations help me determine what I fill in the boxes up here. So I'll take what was each for the cropland and timber acres, and then use my calculations that I discovered when searching for comparable sales, and I find a total minimum expected value for your farm. So this box is truly the important one, and I can definitely walk you through. If you do request to have one of these, feel free to message or call me, and I can work on it and get it to you within 24 or 48 hours. So I want to show you how I find comparable sales, and how you could too as well with the resources that I use. So if I jump back here now, so I do use our Iowa land value calculator just to get a rough idea. And then I also use a site called Farmland Finder, or Turva. We actually have an account for Dream Dirt, so if you really like paying attention to land values, what they sell for, what's currently on the market, you could definitely buy an account at Farmland Finder. But this is a tool I use and have access to and spend a lot of time on. So if you don't have the time to do it and you just want me to fill out a market analysis for you, this is where I come to a lot. So we're looking at a past sales map, and I already narrowed it down to Iowa and just Dallas County. Like I said, that's where I grew up, so I just kind of always resort to Dallas County. I chose a sale type as sold because that's what we're wanting to look at, and then also that it sold in the last 18 months. Really, I'd like to see anything sold in the last 18 months, because beyond that, prices could be a little different compared to what your land would be worth currently if you wanted to sell it in the next month or so. So it looks like there's only a few, and it is actually pulling up a piece of land that I sold in Dallas County back in March, March 24th. We sold it for $9,100 an acre. Some really good family friends reached out to me to help sell their land, and so we did in March on an online only auction. And I believe we can do what it was dollars per CSR2. It is over 100. I'm just pulling out my calculator really quick. So 9,100 divided by the CSR2 of the farm, 87.9. So it sold for $103.5 per CSR2. So that's what I'm talking about in an actual calculation, an example. So I took $9,100, which it sold for per acre, did that divided by the CSR2 here, the 87.9, and got $103.5 per CSR2 rating. So that's a calculation I would use if I was looking at someone's farm in Dallas County that kind of resembled this tillable farm. I would use that calculation to help with the land value. So looks like it was just loading. But yeah, so I can always just scroll around and find the different farms. Sometimes if there's a limited number of land sold in a county, I go to the next surrounding counties. So I can add a few, could add Guthrie in here and Madison County. Man, we sell a lot in Madison County. My broker, Tom, as well, does a lot there. There's quite a few online auctions on our website in Madison County now. So you can see that now the number is up to 30. Let's say I just wanted to select all of Iowa, land sold in the past 18 months, and you'd see a big map there. So that's one resource I use. When you have an account, you can also see all the active listings, expired ones, auction calendar. So this is a really good tool that I have and what I use to find comparable sales. Another website you can use is any assessor website. So once again, I'm in Beacon in Dallas County, and I found that farm that I sold back in March. And what you would do is once you find the farm, you can do a comparable search up here and then scroll down past this residential and commercial and get to agriculture. And then you can choose what categories you'd really like to look at. So here again, I'm going to do the past 18 months. You'd like the sale to be normal. You're not going to want it to be like between family members or anything else. You just want it to be a normal sale. You can click on any of these as well if as a house or dwelling in a certain area. Sometimes the more you click and the more narrow you get it, it doesn't do a big search list. So let's see what there is for just the past 18 months. So you can see the subject property that I sold back in March is up here. So this is all the criteria. And then if you scroll down, these are all the comparable sales that have happened. And you can sort them by sale date or sale price. So let's go ahead. So a recent one that sold for $375,000 here. And then you can actually click into each parcel and then pull up a map about it and see. I just want you to be aware though, when it says multi-parcel sale and it has a yes here, that means this price was for the whole entire sale. It wasn't just for this 6 acres. So it looks like these two are at least attached together. So this is just one way you can explore on your own. The assessor websites are free. Each county kind of differs, so just play around with Beacon or search your county name and assessor website in Google, and it should pull up with a website and link that you can go to and search for a certain property that you'd like to pull up and see. So with that, that kind of rounds out how I find comparable sales and how I fill out this area for my clients with our market analysis. And then what's also included is just our different packages, proposed closing and auction dates, the difference between our hybrid auctions, which is live and online bidding, online auctions. You can see that our marketing fee is $0 because we include all this for free. So we do give you more information there with the market analysis. And of course, we have so many free good resources. Our ebooks, Jason wrote those and the team, online land auction, secrets to it, and secrets to selling farmland. So I hope this episode was really informational for everyone. I know you can't see me and I'm not sure if I can, let me see if I can jump back on and stop sharing my screen quick. I'm going to hit stop sharing, and if I disappear and this video ends, thank you for joining, but let me see if it will